Welcome back to another deep dive, and a special welcome to you, the learner. We know you are here because you have that drive to really understand complex topics efficiently without feeling totally overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly.
And today, we are jumping into a really fascinating set of source materials regarding Doberman behavior and, well, trainability.
Right, which is just such a great topic.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I want to emphasize right up front that even though we are looking at a specific breed today, this is truly a masterclass in animal psychology, communication, and, leadership in general.
Oh, absolutely. It applies to so much more than just the one breed.
Right. So the core thesis from our sources today is that great behavior in a highly intelligent working dog is not built through control or intimidation or dominance. It is built entirely through trust, clear communication, and actually understanding the animal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this because I think people often assume that a tough-looking protection dog naturally needs a really tough, heavy-handed approach.
Oh, for sure. People see the muscles and the reputation and think, I need to be an iron-fisted boss.
Right, exactly.
Hmm.
But the modern behavioral science in our sources says the exact opposite.
It really does. I mean, the idea that you have to be heavy-handed is just a complete myth. Using control-based or intimidation-heavy training on a dog with this level of cognitive ability, it completely backfires.
How so? Like, what actually happens?
Well, heavy-handed training only produces compliance at best. Or, a dog that just learns how to avoid punishment. You aren't creating a dog that's engaged or thinking. You're just producing a dog that's stressed out.
Wow, okay, so you're just shutting them down, basically.
Exactly. You're suppressing the exact traits that make them remarkable in the first place.
That makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
And I think to understand why intimidation backfires so badly, we first have to understand how this specific animal processes information, right? Like how they make decisions.
Yeah, we have to look at the nuances of canine intelligence because it's not just a single scale of smart to dumb. There's actually a workdown. So first, there is working intelligence, which is basically how fast a dog learns a command.
Like sit, stay, heel.
Exactly. And Dobermans has extremely high working intelligence. They learn commands incredibly fast. But the defining trait for them is what we call independent or adaptive intelligence.
Adaptive intelligence. Okay, what is that exactly?
It's the ability to assess a situation and make a judgment call. They were bred to evaluate things.
Oh, that's wild. Okay, so I kind of think about this like the workplace. It's the difference between hiring a robot to do exactly what you say on an assembly line.
Right, the working intelligence.
Yeah, working intelligence.
Yeah.
Versus hiring a highly skilled consultant who actually evaluates your request before acting. That's the adaptive part.
That is a perfect analogy, yes.
But wait, doesn't that evaluation just look like disobedience to a normal owner?
Well,
I mean, when they pause before a command, isn't that just being stubborn? I feel like people would just see a stubborn dog.
what's fascinating here is the evolutionary biology behind that pause. It is almost never actual defiance.
Really? It's not defiance.
No, because they were literally bred to make judgment calls. So that pause is them asking a quiet internal question.
Which is,
The dog is asking, what's actually in this for me right now?
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what's in it for me? That is so cheeky.
I know, it sounds a bit arrogant, right?
Right.
But it's survival. They are running a rapid risk-reward analysis, and this is exactly why positive reinforcement is so incredibly vital.
And when we say positive reinforcement, we're talking treats, praise, play, that sort of thing.
Yes. But it's not just a feel-good slogan, it's biology. When you use a treat or play, you are building a fast neurological association in the dog's brain.
Like a physical pathway.
Exactly, a chemical binding. It teaches the dog that a specific behavior reliably produces a good outcome, and that dopamine hit is what makes them want to repeat it.
Okay, so because they are constantly evaluating what's in it for me, they are not just passively receiving our commands.
Not at all.
They are actively communicating back to us. And when owners fail to read that two-way communication, that's when major misunderstandings happen.
All right, Major, that's where everything breaks down.
Which brings us to a huge point in the sources about consistency. I really want to highlight this crucial detail. Consistency means the exact same behavior produces the exact same outcome.
Regardless of your mood.
Right. Regardless of mood or who is home, our sources give this great example of a dog jumping on visitors.
Oh, the jumping trap. It's so common.
Yeah. So if one person in the house laughs and pets the dog when they jump, right? And then another person in the house scolds the dog for the exact same behavior.
The dog gets completely confused.
Yeah, the dog doesn't learn that jumping is bad. It just learns that the outcome depends on who happens to be standing there.
Exactly. It's like a slot machine for the dog. They just keep pulling the lever, hoping for a payout.
That's such a good way to put it. So how does the dog communicate this confusion back to us? We need to decode their body language.
Yes, and there is a critical distinction here that we have to make, which is the difference between fear and aggression.
Okay, yeah, because they can look really similar to us.
Right. To a novice, yes, they look identical. But a fearful dog primarily wants to increase distance. They want to get away.
So what does that look like?
You'll see a lowered body posture. Their ears will be pinned back. The tail is tucked tightly. And you'll often see what's called whale eye.
Whale eye. That's when the whites of their eyes show, because they're looking away but keeping their eyes on you, right?
Right, exactly. It's an appeasement gesture. They are saying, please back off. Now, aggression is completely different.
How so?
Aggression is about holding ground. The posture is stiff, weight shifted forward, ears up. It's about forward momentum.
Okay, so if we connect this to the bigger picture, here is the crucial misconception. A fearful dog that feels cornered-like, if it can't increase that distance, it can escalate into what looks like aggression.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, yes, exactly. The label of natural aggression in this breed is almost always a huge misunderstanding.
It's a total misread of the situation.
Right. It's usually a fear response from a poorly socialized dog that feels it cannot safely disengage. It's panicking, basically.
Wow. Understanding that aggressive displays are often rooted in fear, I mean, that completely changes how we should approach one of the most famous traits of the breed.
You mean the guarding instinct?
Exactly, the guarding. I mean, guarding is an inherited instinct based on their original working purpose. It's in their DNA. But raw instinct doesn't equal calibrated protectiveness, does it?
No, not at all. Raw instinct is just a nerve waiting to be tripped.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because a lot of people think you have to be the alpha or dominate a guard dog so it knows who is boss.
Oh, the alpha theory.
Yeah. Why do our sources say that specifically backfires for a guard dog?
Well, think about what dominance training actually does. Handling this breed through intimidation doesn't create better judgment. It creates generalized suspicion and anxiety.
Because they're always stressed.
Right. A dog operating from an anxious, reactive place cannot accurately assess a real threat. Everything looks dangerous when you're terrified.
So it's like having a security guard who's incredibly paranoid and jumpy.
Exactly. Whereas a securely raised, confidently socialized dog with consistent boundaries, that dog is actually the far better judge of genuine threats versus, just ordinary daily life.
Like the mailman.
Right, like the mailman dropping off a package. They can tell the difference because they aren't flooded with stress hormones.
That makes total sense. And this need for clear, anxiety-free communication isn't just about high-stakes guarding, is it? It applies directly to everyday household frustration.
Oh, absolutely. The mundane stuff.
Like barking. Barking is a big one. Our sources point out that barking isn't just one thing to be stopped. It's communication that needs to be deciphered.
Yeah, you have to ask yourself, what is the bark saying?
Right, because there's alert barking at something unfamiliar in the yard. But then there's attention-seeking barking, which is totally different.
Or barking at an empty food bowl.
Yeah. Or barking because they're understimulated and bored out of their minds. You have to read the context.
Context is everything. And speaking of everyday frustrations, we have to talk about solitude. Being left alone.
Oh, right. Because they have such deep attachment traits to their owners.
Exactly. Because of that attachment, being alone must be explicitly taught as a skill. You have to use gradual desensitization.
So you can't just leave for 8 hours on day one.
Definitely not. You have to start small. And the most important part is keeping your departures and returns calm and unremarkable.
No huge dramatic goodbyes.
No, because if you make it a dramatic event, the dog thinks it's a big deal. You want alone time to feel like a normal daily rhythm.
Just a boring part of the day.
Exactly. Though we should note, severe distress, like destroying crates or self-injury, that requires a vet or a behaviorist. That's clinical separation anxiety.
Right. Definitely seek professional help for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on from solitude, what happens during the adolescent phase? This is, 6 to 18 months?
Yes, the dreaded teenage phase.
The sources mention a sudden regression, where a perfect puppy just starts ignoring commands. So what does this all mean? Did the dog just magically forget its training?
No, they didn't forget anything. It's a biological shift. Hormones are surging and they are boundary testing.
Like a human teenager.
Very much like a human teenager. The dog is basically testing to see if the rules still apply now that it has an adult body and, growing independence.
So they're saying, make me?
Kind of, yeah. And this is where impulse control, training, and extreme consistency are make or break. You can't just passively wait the phase out.
You can't just give up and say, oh, they're just being a teenager.
Right. You have to firmly and fairly reinforce the rules, or they will learn that the rules are optional.
Which naturally leads to the question of how this breed fits into a complex household ecosystem. Like dealing with a boundary testing teenager is hard enough, but what about kids or other pets?
It's a really important question, and the sources actually give an encouraging answer, but with caveats.
Always caveats?
Of course. Dobermans can form exceptionally gentle bonds with kids, and they can live harmoniously with cats or other dogs.
Yeah.
But if and only if there is early socialization, clear boundaries, and ongoing supervision, especially to manage their prey drive with unfamiliar small animals.
Right, because a squirrel running across the yard is very different from the family cat sitting on the couch.
Exactly. And no large dog should ever be left completely unsupervised with very young children. Ever.
That's just standard safety for any breed.
Absolutely.
And it's important to note that training doesn't stop after they grow up either. Advanced training is crucial. Structured sport, scent work, advanced obedience.
It's a lifelong commitment.
Which brings up a myth I really want to talk about. The myth that intelligent dogs train themselves.
Oh, I hear that one all the time.
Right. People think, oh, they're so smart, it'll be easy. But it's like putting a bored genius in a normal classroom. If you don't give them complex math to do, they aren't going to just sit quietly. They're going to dismantle the air conditioning unit.
Yes. They'll find their own job, and you won't like the job they pick. This raises an important question, though, about who should actually own a dog like this.
Yeah, is it just for experts?
Well, high intelligence actually raises the stakes of ownership. First-time owners can succeed, definitely. The primary pitfall isn't a lack of experience.
It's not. What is it then?
It's underestimating the immense daily physical and mental engagement this specific breed requires.
If they just don't realize how much work it is every single day.
Exactly. It's a lifestyle.
Wow. Okay, so to synthesize everything we've talked about from the sources today, it really brings it all back to that central theme. The genetics, the early socialization, nutrition, health, all of that stacks together to give the dog's body what it needs. But the behavioral approach is what unlocks the mind.
It really is.
The promise of the breed isn't a dog that blindly obeys out of fear. It's a dog that thinks alongside you as a partner.
A true working partnership.
And building that partnership requires daily, long-term commitment, preventive care, extreme consistency, and obviously our standard disclaimer for the sources. Always consult a vet for actual health concerns.
Always.
But I want to leave you, the learner, with a broader philosophical question today, something that builds on the text but expands way past it.
Ooh, okay.
If modern behavioral science proves that an animal specifically bred for protection and independence responds best to trust, clear boundaries, and understanding, rather than dominance and intimidation, how might applying those exact same principles reshape the way we approach leadership, conflict, and communication in our own human relationships?
Oh, wow. That is a great point.
Right. Something to think about. See you next time on The Deep Dive.